Our movie starts at Smith's Grove Sanitarium. Podcasters Aaron, Korey, and Dana Haines arrive and meet Dr. Ranbir Sartain, the new doctor studying the hospital's most notorious patient, Michael Myers. Aaron and Dana have come for an interview with the killer, who stands with his hands chained to the ground as he stands ominously and silently in the yard. Aaron tries talking to Michael and brings up the murder spree he committed 40 years earlier. He then takes out Michael's trademark mask to try and get a response from him. But Michael remains quiet while the other patients around him start to go mad. Haddonfield, Aaron and Dana go to the home of Laurie Strode with the promise of paying her for an interview. Ever since she survived Michael's attack, she's been preparing herself with guns and maximum security, though it has also made her highly paranoid and put a strain on her relationship with her family, especially her daughter Karen, whom she lost custody of. Aaron offers Laurie a chance to see Michael face to face and to free herself of her anger and hatred, but Laurie cuts the interview short and sends Aaron and Dana away. We meet Karen and her husband Ray and daughter Allison. Allison wants her mom to invite her grandmother to an upcoming family gathering, but Karen is very hesitant to do so. Allison then walks to school with her friends Vicky and Dave. At school, Allison meets with her boyfriend Cameron and his buddy Oscar. During class, Allison spots Laurie standing outside. She goes to talk to her grandmother on her free period and tells her that she needs to get over Michael and move on due to the strain it's put on her family. But Laurie argues that she's prepared Karen for the horrors of the world, even if it made her hate Laurie. She goes back near her home to shoot at some targets. Meanwhile, Michael is with other prisoners being transported to a maximum security prison. All the while, we hear the voice of Dr. Samuel Loomis saying that the only way to stop Michael is to kill him. That night, Cameron joins Allison and her family for a dinner. Laurie later joins since Allison invited her, but Laurie quickly starts drinking and puts Karen off. When they try to start over, Laurie breaks down. She leaves the restaurant, but Allison goes outside to comfort her. A father and son are driving together when they come across a prison bus crash with inmates walking loose on the streets. The father goes out to investigate, and after a while, the boy goes out armed with a rifle. He walks onto the bus to find his dad, but he is startled by Dr. Sartain, and the boy accidentally shoots him. He runs back to the car, only to find Michael there, and he strangles the boy to death. Officer Hawkins later comes across the scene to find Sartain and the father's body with his neck all horribly twisted. It is now Halloween day. Aaron and Dana are on their way out of town, but they first stop to visit the grave of Judith Myers, Michael's sister that he murdered as a child. The two then stop at a gas station. Dana goes to the bathroom while Aaron is outside. He sees that two men inside are dead, and he runs to find Dana. Michael enters the bathroom and stalks Dana until he goes to her stall and drops a bunch of bloody teeth in front of her. He tries to barge in as Dana tries to crawl out for safety. Aaron comes in and sees Michael. He tries to save Dana, but Michael bashes Aaron's head against the doors repeatedly until he's dead. Dana tries to defend herself, but Michael chokes her to death. He then goes to their car and dons the mask once more. Laurie hears about the bus crash and knows Michael is on the loose. She breaks into Karen's house to show her that her house is lacking security. So Laurie tells Karen to get her family to her house before Michael arrives. The evening arrives and children go around trick or treating in Haddonfield. Michael walks among them and enters a house where he bludgeons a woman to death with a hammer before getting a knife. He then finds another woman in the house and stabs her through the throat. Vicky is babysitting a young boy named Julian and is also expecting Dave to arrive with some weed. Julian knows what's up but won't tell his parents. Vicky then goes to tuck him into bed as Dave shows up. Allison is at a party where she and Cameron are Bonnie and Clyde, except she's Clyde and he's Bonnie, until Allison catches Cameron kissing another girl. He goes after her and he's clearly drunk, going as far as to take her phone and throw it into some pudding. Allison leaves the party with Oscar following her. Vicky and Dave start to hook up when they hear something coming from upstairs. Julian runs down and tells Vicky he saw a man walking around the house. Vicky goes into his room to look in the closet, but only jokingly pretends to see someone. She goes to the closet for real and then sees Michael. Vicky tries to run, but Michael gets her and struggles to reel her in until he stabs her. Julian runs to get help. Dave grabs a knife and heads upstairs. Hawkins later arrives at the house and finds Vicky's body under a sheet, while Dave has been impaled through his head against the wall. Other cops arrive on the scene, and Sartain is with one of them. Laurie, who has been patrolling the streets looking for Michael, also convenes with them, and she calls Sartain the new Loomis. She tells Hawkins that she's been waiting for Michael to escape so she can kill him herself. Sartain goes with Hawkins while Laurie tries to get in touch with Allison. She brings Karen and Ray to her house to show her the bunker where they will hide in when Michael shows up. Allison and Oscar are walking together until he drunkenly tries to kiss her. She ditches him in a backyard where the motion sensor lights go on, and Oscar sees Michael, unaware of who he is. The lights go off and then on again, and Michael has moved slightly closer. The same thing happens again, and Michael slashes at Oscar. He tries to run and call for help, but Michael stabs him and then impales his body on a gate. Allison sees Oscar's body and runs. Allison runs into a house and calls for help. Hawkins arrives at the house moments later, and Allison alerts him to Michael's presence. She rides with him and Sartain as they find Michael, and Hawkins rams into him with his car. Sartain goes near Michael's body and then stabs Hawkins in the throat. Sartain takes Michael's mask and puts it on, then hauls Michael into the car with Allison. He tells her that he orchestrated Michael's escape with the intent of reuniting him with Lori. Allison tricks Sartain into stopping the car so that she can tell him something she supposedly heard Michael say. Michael then wakes up and slams Sartain against the steering wheel, giving Allison a chance to run. Michael drags Sartain out and stomps his head into a bloody mess. Two other cops see Hawkins' car and go to investigate while Allison runs through the woods toward Lori's house. Outside Lori's house, Ray sees the cop's car in front. He looks inside only to see them both killed, with one cop's head used as a jack-o'-lantern. Ray is then found by Michael, who promptly kills him as well. Lori knows Michael is there. She turns on all the security lights and keeps Karen in the bunker. As Lori prepares herself, Michael breaks in through the door and tries to strangle Lori. She fires her gun, and Michael lets go. Lori goes to check on Karen, who is armed with a rifle. Before leaving, the two say their love for each other. Lori goes outside and is attacked by Michael, which Allison witnesses. She shows up at the house and joins her mother in the bunker. Lori and Michael start to look for each other. Lori goes into the house to find him as she follows a trail of blood, but she just finds Ray's body stuffed in a cabinet. Michael then lunges out and attacks Lori, but she continues to fight him off. Michael then finds the bunker and pries it open. Karen calls for Lori pretending to be afraid, but when Michael faces her down, Karen gets a good shot and shoots Michael in the face. Lori then pushes Michael down into the bunker, so Karen and Allison run out. Michael grabs Allison, but she stabs him in the arm. Lori then triggers a trap to keep Michael in the bunker as she had planned all along. She turns on the gas as she prepares to have Michael roasted alive. She says goodbye to her nemesis before running out with Karen and Allison. Allison flags down a car to help them as Lori's house goes up in flames. We take one more look in the bunker and don't see Michael there. The Strode women are then being driven away in the back of the truck, with Allison still clutching the bloody knife. And the end. What do you think about this one, guys? Hope you liked it. Until next time. Cheers.